corner for you, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are getting ready for that.
So you've been digging through those practice questions.
Absolutely, got to do it.
And we're going to use those today to like unlock these core concepts.
Yep.
You know, the ones you need to just crush that exam.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about these fundamentals is even if you end up specializing in a particular area of Azure, these fundamentals are like the bedrock.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all built on top of this stuff.
Okay, so let's jump right in, I guess.
Sounds good.
To this like pile of practice questions you sent over.
You're a lot here.
I'm seeing virtual machines, databases, networking. Oh, security, of course.
It is a lot, isn't it?
A lot to take in.
Yeah, and I think rather than thinking of it as like trying to just memorize facts,
Okay.
think of this deep dive as a way to make sense of how all these pieces fit together, you know,
Okay.
and the Azure puzzle.
I love that, like a puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to put the pieces together.
Absolutely.
Okay, so to start like piecing things together.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these Azure services.
Okay.
I mean, there's a ton of them
There are.
just in this question set alone.
Yeah, and the key is understanding what each service is for, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you have a toolbox full of specialized tools,
Yeah.
you're not going to use a hammer to tighten a screw.
Right.
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 So that's the same kind of approach you want to take with these different services.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, for example, there's this question about like a team needing a tool to like make predictions based on past data. Is that where something like Azure Machine Learning comes in?
Exactly.
Okay.
Azure Machine Learning is your kind of go-to for building and training predictive models. So you can think about it like this. You feed it data, it learns from the patterns,
Okay.
and then it can predict future outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. So that's pretty powerful stuff.
it is.
But how do you even know like where to begin,
Right.
you know, with so many options?
Well, that's where understanding the cloud deployment models come in, right?
Okay.
So you've got your IaaS, your PaaS, your SaaS,
and
these tell you who manages what
yeah.
and how much control you have.
Okay. I remember seeing some questions about that. So IS,
Oh,
it's
French.
like, you know, building your own house from scratch,
Yeah.
like you've got complete control.
Right.
But it's a lot of work, right?
It is. You're responsible for everything.
Okay.
Right, from the servers and storage to networking and operating systems.
Okay. And then you've got Pi.
Yes, PaaS is more like renting a fully equipped apartment.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So you still have some control over your application and data.
Right. But Azure takes care of all the underlying infrastructure for you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it definitely makes things a bit simpler.
And then there's Sauce,
Yeah, that's like the simplest of all.
where you're just using like a pre-built application.
Right, exactly, like Microsoft 365.
Okay.
So it's like staying at a hotel.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything except enjoying the service.
Got it. Got it. So this choice also ties into cost, right?
Absolutely.
There's this one question that kind of got me.
Okay.
It said, even when you stop a virtual machine,
Yep.
you still pay for storage?
That's right.
That one was a bit of a surprise.
It is a key difference between cloud resources and your traditional on-premises servers.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So with a stopped virtual machine,
Yeah.
you're not paying for the compute power,
Right.
but the data still lives on that storage, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that has a cost associated with it.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. It,
Yeah.
it really highlights the importance of understanding like Azure's pricing model,
Absolutely. Yeah.
how it all works.
And speaking of cost management, there are some really great tools and features in Azure that can help you kind of optimize your spending.
Yeah.
Things like Azure Reservations, the hybrid benefit.
Okay.
These can significantly reduce your costs if you use them strategically.
So it's like finding those hidden discounts
Yeah, exactly.
for your cloud services.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So beyond just the cost, though,
Right.
there's also this question of availability. I remember one about a company needing their servers up, even if a whole data center had problems.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
That's where those availability zones come in.
That's right. It's like backup data centers within a region, right? So if one goes down, your applications can keep running from the other zone.
So they're within a region, not across continents.
That's a very important distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all within a single region.
Okay, I got it. But what about those situations where you need even higher levels of availability and like performance guarantees? Isn't that where SLAs come in?
SLAs, yeah. So your service level agreements,
Yeah.
that's essentially a guarantee from Microsoft about the uptime and the performance of their Azure services, right?
Yeah,
So it's their commitment to keeping things running smoothly.
I see.
Yeah.
But one question talked about how the overall SLA for like a complex application
Yeah.
can be affected by the individual SLAs of its like parts.
Yeah, yeah.
How does that work?
Well, think of it like a chain, right?
Okay.
The strength of a chain is only as strong as its weakest link,
Right.
right? So if one component has a lower SLA,
Yeah.
it can drag down the overall SLA for the entire application.
Okay, so you need to be mindful of all of them.
Exactly. You need to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and understand how those different components
Right.
contribute to the reliability and performance of your solutions.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a lot to think about.
It is, for sure.
We're going to have to take a break here. We'll pick this back up in the next part.
Sounds good.
I'm sure we'll have even more to get into then.
Oh, yeah, definitely lots more to cover.
All right, we'll see you then. Okay, so we're back
Gag.
for more Azure Fundamentals.
Right, let's dive in.
And I'm already feeling like way better about that exam.
Good, that's the goal.
But let's keep going though, because
Absolutely, there's still plenty more to cover.
there's so much to learn.
Yeah, so let's get to the heart of Azure,
Okay.
the data itself.
Right.
So those practice questions had a lot about storage options.
Yeah, I saw that.
We've got your blobs, files, queues, tables.
It is a lot.
It's like choosing the right container, you know,
Yeah.
for your stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so it's not just about storing data, it's about choosing the most efficient way
Right.
to store it. Yeah.
Okay, so for example,
Yeah.
if you were storing like tons of family photos and videos,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't use the same container as like important financial documents.
Exactly. Yeah, they have different requirements.
So like blobs?
Yes,
Yeah.
blobs.
Those are
Think
cool.
of those as your big storage bins
Okay.
for unstructured data.
All right.
So your images, videos, large text files, that kind of thing.
Got it.
Yeah, blobs are super versatile.
They can handle a lot, I bet.
Yeah, massive amounts of data.
Mm.
Think of them as the workhorse
Okay.
of storing that kind of unstructured content.
All right. So then there are files,
Files, yeah.
which seem more like,
Those filing cabinets
yeah,
that we used to have
right.
back in the day.
Organized, shared.
Exactly.
Yeah, in a structured way.
So Azure Files provides that familiar file share experience,
Oh, okay.
but it's in the cloud, right?
Mhm.
So it's accessible via SMB protocol,
Okay.
so you can connect to it from your computer.
So it's just like a network drive,
It's like a network drive, yeah.
but it's always there.
Exactly. Always accessible, no matter where you are.
Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Okay, so then we have these queues.
Queues, yes.
They're a little different.
A bit different, yeah.
It's not really storing data, is it?
No, it's more about communication
Okay,
between different parts of an application.
got it.
So they're storing messages
Right.
that need to be passed between applications or services.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it enables what we call asynchronous communication.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means.
So one part of the application can send a message and continue working without waiting for a response.
I see.
Yeah, it's kind of like leaving a note for someone
Calling them up?
instead of waiting for them to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense, especially if you have like a lot of
Right, exactly, yeah.
moving parts.
Yeah, if you've got a complex application with a lot of moving parts.
Okay, and finally we have tables.
Tables, yeah.
So those are for storing like structured data.
Yeah, but in a NoSQL format.
Okay.
So they're great for scenarios where you need fast access to data based on a key.
So tables are like those spreadsheets
Yeah, you can think of one
with
like
rows and columns.
exactly.
But it's in the cloud.
Yeah, optimized for cloud storage and quick retrieval.
Okay, cool. So we've got our data stored
All right, so we've got it stored.
in the right containers,
We've got the containers figured out.
but now we need to like organize all these Azure resources.
Organization is key.
There are a lot, and I saw questions about resource groups, regions, even management groups.
Yeah, it can be a lot to keep track of.
It is.
Yeah, but think about it like organizing your tools and materials, right?
Okay.
For a big project.
Okay.
So resource groups,
Yeah.
they're like your handy toolboxes.
Okay.
You group related resources together
Right.
to make them easier to manage.
So if I was deploying like a web application, I might have a resource group for that.
Exactly.
On the different parts of it.
Yeah, you'd have your virtual machine, your storage account,
Okay.
your networking components, all in one group.
So then you can.
And then you can apply policies, track costs, even delete the entire group
Wow.
as a single unit when you're done.
Okay, that's pretty efficient.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency and control.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about regions?
Regions, yeah.
Those are the places.
Those are the geographical locations
Yeah.
where Azure's data centers are.
So when you deploy resources, you pick a region.
Exactly. You choose the region that makes the most sense for you. Yeah.
Thinking about like regulations and stuff.
Right. Considering things like data sovereignty,
Mm-hmm.
latency, disaster recovery, all those factors.
Okay, there's a question here that's kind of tricky.
Okay.
It asks if all the resources in a resource group
Yeah.
have to be in the same region.
Ah, good one. That's a no.
It's a no, right?
That's right. It's a common misconception.
Okay.
A resource group is just a logical container.
Yeah, okay.
The resources within it can be located in different regions.
Got it. Okay, but what about management groups?
Managed groups, yeah.
Those are like,
Those are a higher level of organization.
okay.
Think of it like organizing your toolboxes
Mm-hmm.
into bigger storage units.
All right, so if a company has
Yeah,
like multiple departments,
exactly.
they could use management groups.
To apply policies and standards across all those subscriptions.
Got it. So consistency and control.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
It's all about having that structure to manage your cloud resources effectively.
Right, and especially as your cloud footprint grows.
Especially as you scale up, yeah.
Okay, this is starting to like really make sense.
It's good to hear.
We've got our storage, we're organized, but what about putting all of this?
Now you're thinking like a cloud architect.
Oh,
Let's talk about automation.
okay.
Imagine you have a complex workflow, right?
Yeah.
That involves multiple Azure services, maybe even some on-premises systems.
Mm-hmm.
How would you automate that?
That's a tough one.
Well, is this where Azure Logic apps come in?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think you saw some questions about this.
I did, yeah.
Right, Logic apps are Azure's serverless workflow engine.
Okay.
They allow you to visually design and automate workflows
Oh, cool.
that connect different services and systems, yeah.
Okay.
That's like a digital choreographer
Okay.
orchestrating all the steps in a process.
So if I needed to like automatically process an order,
Uh-huh.
it could like retrieve the details, update inventory,
Yep. Send confirmation emails, notify the shipping department,
all without even coding.
all without writing a single line of code.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, Logic apps take care of the plumbing.
So it connects the dots.
Connects the dots, make sure everything flows smoothly.
Then I don't have to manage any infrastructure.
Nope, because it's serverless.
That is amazing.
Yeah, Azure handles all that behind the scenes.
Okay, so it's like having this like virtual assistant
Yeah, it
that just does all those tasks for me.
takes care of all those repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
Frees you up to focus on the more strategic work.
Okay, now for something that requires like serious power,
Okay, let's crank things up.
like what about processing data from millions of sensors?
All right, big data time.
Do you remember what that question mentions?
Yeah, it mentioned Azure IoT Hub,
Yeah.
also Azure Batch and Databricks.
This is like big data and high performance stuff.
We're moving to some serious territory now.
So IoT Hub, it's like a gateway.
Yeah, it's your gateway for ingesting data from a massive number of devices.
So like a central hub
Yeah, think of it as a central hub.
that collects all that data.
Exactly.
Okay, and for actually processing it.
Right, for the heavy lifting of processing and analyzing that data.
We need something else.
You need services like Azure Batch and Databricks.
Okay, so batch is like having a supercomputer
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
for like simulations and stuff.
Perfect for running complex scientific simulations.
Got it.
Financial models, anything that needs massive parallel processing power.
Okay, and Databricks.
Databricks, that's built on top of Apache Spark,
All right.
designed for big data analytics and machine learning.
Like a data scientist's toolbox.
Yeah, it's like having a data scientist's dream toolkit.
To tackle massive data sets.
Exactly. Ready to tackle those massive data sets and extract those valuable insights.
It's incredible how Azure has all these different options
It is pretty amazing.
for everything.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Azure. It's a comprehensive platform.
So we've talked about storage, organizing resources, even automation.
And even dipped our toes into the world of big data.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot, but you're starting to see how the pieces fit together.
I am.
Good. And remember, all of this is building on those core cloud concepts.
Right.
It's like adding layers to our understanding.
So we really only talked about the technology.
Yeah.
What about the people, you know?
The human element.
Yeah, like last time we were talking about
Right.
that shared responsibility model.
Exactly. And how that shift to the cloud
Yeah.
impacts a company's IT roles and skill sets.
Yeah, that was a good question.
It was a great question, and it's one we'll definitely delve into in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we're back for the last part of our Azure Fundamentals deep dive.
All right, ready to wrap things up.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been. We've covered a lot of ground.
But before we finish up, let's address that question from last time.
Okay, the one about the impact on IT teams.
Yeah, you know, with the shift to the cloud and all.
Right. How does this change the roles and the skills they need?
Yeah, it's a big shift, isn't it?
It is. Think about it. In the old on-premises world,
Mm-hmm.
IT folks spend a lot of time, racking servers, troubleshooting hardware,
Oh, yeah, like the physical stuff.
exactly managing all that physical infrastructure.
Right.
But with the cloud, that becomes much less important.
So it's not about the hardware anymore.
Not as much. It's more about managing virtual resources.
Right, and understanding cloud security.
Absolutely. And becoming really good at automation and scripting.
So it's like they're evolving.
Yeah. From hardware technicians
Hmm.
to cloud architects and engineers.
It sounds like they need a whole new set of skills.
They do. Instead of focusing on those low-level tasks,
Yeah,
they need to be comfortable with cloud-native tools and services.
like infrastructure as code and serverless.
Exactly. Things like that.
And containerization, right.
Yep. All those modern cloud concepts.
It seems like they're becoming more strategic.
They are. It's less about keeping the lights on
Mm-hmm.
and more about designing and building solutions.
Right. So it's a different way of working than
It is. It's a DevOps mindset.
where everyone works together.
Development and operations teams collaborating closely.
So it's not just the technology, it's the culture too.
It's both. It's a cultural shift as much as a technological one.
Okay, so for someone who's just getting started with Azure,
Someone prepping for the AZ-900, thinking about a career,
yeah.
they need to understand this new landscape.
So the AZ-900 is like a starting point.
It is. It's a great foundation.
What else should they focus on?
Well, first, master those fundamentals.
Yeah, make sure you really get those.
Then explore the areas of Azure that interest you.
Okay, so like if they're into data analytics or AI,
Exactly. Or security, DevOps, whatever sparks their curiosity.
dive in and get some hands-on experience.
Absolutely. There are so many resources available.
I know, it's amazing how much is out there.
Yeah. Microsoft Learn, online courses, hands-on labs.
Yeah, it's like having a personal tutor.
It is. There's so much support for learning.
But it's changing so fast.
The cloud is constantly evolving. That's true.
New services all the time.
New services and features, yeah, can be overwhelming.
How do you keep up with all that?
Well, that's where focusing on the core concepts helps.
Okay, like those fundamentals we keep talking about.
Exactly. Once you understand those,
You can apply them to anything new.
it's like having a mental framework to make sense of it all.
So it's not about memorizing everything?
Nope. It's about understanding the underlying principles.
Yeah, the patterns.
It's about learning how to learn in the cloud.
I like that.
Yeah. And as you gain experience,
You can specialize.
exactly, become an expert in a particular area.
Security, data engineering, machine learning.
Right. Whatever you're passionate about.
It really is an exciting time
It is. There's so much opportunity.
to learn and grow.
Absolutely. The cloud is transforming everything.
And the demand for Azure skills is just going to keep increasing.
No doubt about it.
Well, we've reached the end of our Azure Fundamentals deep dive.
We made it.
We covered those tricky practice questions, explained complex concepts.
Hopefully we've inspired you to explore Azure.
I think we have. I feel inspired.
Good. That's what we were hoping for.
So to everyone listening, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive.
We'll be exploring something new.
Until then, keep learning, keep growing, keep exploring the cloud.